The other day we counted down all the games that I played in 2023 and ranked them and talked about them kind of like from my perspective of how good they were as Let's Plays and as how good they were as games. But 2024 is a completely different beast. It's a completely different time. We're going to be playing a lot more games, hopefully in the next coming year. I have a list of games here that I definitely want to play as Let's Plays, and then the Let's Play slot is usually 11 o'clock GMT every single day. That's the Let's Play time. Usually extra videos come out earlier in the day at like 6 o'clock GMT, if that makes sense. But the list I have here is a bunch of games that I want to play that we might not get around to every single one of them. We might not, but this is what I want to play this year. And also, last year we played 10 games. You might notice now that there are 6 more games on this list than there was last year. And that's because, obviously, if you don't know, I'm trying, as I said a million times, people are probably annoyed by it by now, I'm trying to get to a full-time schedule with this channel, and that basically works through Patreon and through YouTube ad revenue, but like with Patreon, I'm trying to get to a certain amount of money on that so I can do this full-time, and if I can, we'll basically be doing all these games, because we'll have more time to do so. Enough with the pitch. I know you guys are probably like sick of me saying it by now, but I have to say it. I have to say it sometimes. But we're going to talk about all the games we're going to be playing this year, and also talk about the games that I want to try this year in the extra time slot too that might become Let's Plays also. First is Undertale Yellow. I think we're going to be playing this next. This is a fan game that a lot of people have suggested. It was suggested on the Patreon, actually, in the suggestions poll on Patreon, and I actually think it would be a really fun idea. It's the first time I heard of it was when people started suggesting it in the channel, and now I'm actually really into the idea of playing it ever since that Toby Fox gave his approval to the game too, so it's almost become canon in some sort of way. Then we have A Hat in Time. This has been suggested for years as well, also suggested on the Patreon, and Hat in Time, people just say is a really jolly, colourful, beautiful platformer, and that's exactly something I would be into, especially since I've gotten into platformers in the past while as well. The Ace Attorney trilogy, the Apollo Justice trilogy, I should say. This is coming out soon. I would like to get into this. Maybe we play this at the exact same time as Undertale Yellow. Maybe we try to do something like that. That could definitely be a possibility, you know, if we do hit some goals and stuff. It is a game that I would generally like to play in, a bunch of games that I would love to try out, especially since this is something that people have suggested since I played Justice for All and Trials and Tribulations, which Trials and Tribulations is one of my favorite games ever made. Kingdom Hearts is on this list. Kingdom Hearts is a game series that I've seriously not gotten into very much. I played the first Kingdom Hearts years ago. I don't remember much about it because I played through it in like 3 days. But the game itself, I remember being like, oh, this is pretty good. I kind of held off on playing the other games because it was one of those game series that like a lot of people in the channel at the time were like, we would like to see you play this whole series, we'd like to see you play these games. And maybe those people aren't even around anymore. Maybe they're gone. But I really want to get into this story, especially since I love JRPGs so much, and this is one of those things where it's like, Calvin, you played all the big boys, the big daddies, the big chunky boys in terms of JRPGs. You played the Dragon Quest, you played the Personas, you played Final Fantasy, you played the Tales of series, you played the Trails of series, you played all these JRPGs, but you've never played Kingdom Hearts, which is like an action RPG, action JRPG, but I would definitely like to get into this series, and I have every single game already, purchased them years ago, so it's going to be no problem to actually play them. Pikmin 1 or Pikmin 2, I guess Pikmin 1 would be probably the best option since they came out on the remastered version on the Switch. I would like to get into this just purely, there's not much to say about this. I love Pikmin, I think they're really fun games. People said these games are harder, and people have wanted me to play these for years. Pikmin is just a really good franchise from what I gather. I played 3 and 4, and they're just near perfect, and I think that would be really a good idea to play again on the channel. Super Mario RPG. Super Mario RPG is a game that probably should have been played a long time ago. It came out last year, but I didn't want to play it right away because I know it's a game that's like a cult classic and beloved by a lot of people, but it's also one of those games that like a lot of people probably wanted to try before they would watch me play it, so I didn't want to spoil stuff with like thumbnails and stuff like that, so what I did was basically like, hold off on playing it. The world is still going to be here next year, I can play it whenever, and that's what I decided to do. I know nothing about this game. I can't say anything about this game. I know Gino is in it, and that's it. That's all I know about this game. Pokemon Violet. I bought Pokemon Violet, I believe, when I bought Tears of the Kingdom, because they had that deal where you can get like basically both the games for like 100 instead of 2 games for 120, because Tears of the Kingdom was 70. And I really like Pokemon. There was a time on the channel where I kind of got drained on Pokemon because I played 2 Pokemon games nearly back to back, and it was kind of I think they were the same Pokemon, just in a different region. I played Legends Arceus and the remastered of, is it Pearl and, not Pearl and Diamond, is it Pearl and Diamond? I think it was Pearl and Diamond. Maybe you guys can correct me on that. I always get those mixed up. But I would love to get back into Pokemon again. I kind of haven't played a Pokemon game since then, so I think it'd be really fun to get back into that. I got my energy back seeing all the people talk about how much they like these games, and seeing you guys talk about how much you like these games too. Silksong. I didn't expect to come back to Hollow Knight so soon, but Hollow Knight is something that I actually really, really liked. I'm attempting to get the true ending of Hollow Knight now, or the ending that people see as the true ending. I heard there's no canon ending, but again, that doesn't matter really in that situation. Silksong just looks like a really fantastic experience that I would like to get into, and by looks at like a fantastic experience, I'm just going off like what everyone else is saying, and everyone else is dying for this game to even get a date, and that has to say something. Future Redeemed. Goes without saying, every single person has been wanting me to play Future Redeemed. Every single person who has wanted the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 playthrough has been like, where's Future Redeemed? To the point that people are like almost giving up. I will get around to it, I promise. I really do promise. We will play it at some stage. Raincode. Raincode is by the Danganronpa creator or developers. I know nothing about this game as well past the first trailer. Again, I like to keep it that way, but again, it has been suggested so many times that there's just no way I can't play it. Your Turn to Die was suggested on Patreon as well, and suggested for years by a lot of people too, but Your Turn to Die, it seems like a game that I'm going to have to play eventually. A lot of people say it's one of their favorite games ever made, and if I like Danganronpa, I'm probably going to like Your Turn to Die. Life is Strange. I own the Life is Strange series, but never got to play them. I played a little bit of the first episode and stopped playing. I don't know why. Maybe there's other games coming out at the time. Maybe it was just a completely different time. I just got my PS4, so that was probably why. But now that I play more story-based games on the channel, I think this would be a really cool game to like go through. I don't know if it would get like the same attention that other games on this list would get, but I still think that would be a really fun like story-based game to play. It might even be fun to like do one episode as like an extra video every single day. So like once a week we do a whole episode. So we do that over while the other Let's Play is going on, or something like that would be really cool. Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, this is something on there that I'm just kind of like, maybe we don't do this. I put it on here because eventually I do want to play the remake, but I think the problem with it is that I recently just played the original version, and I think, you know, I think that it would just be me just retreading a game that I've already played before, so I don't know if people would be into that. You guys can let me know if you'd be into that, like, and be honest, by the way, be completely honest. It doesn't hurt my feelings. It hurts a little bit, but like, you know, then you have to, you know, that's life. You have to get over it. People don't want to see you replay a game you just played, Calvin, you know? Skyward Sword, wink wink. I played that 3 times. Princess Peach Showtime. I've always wanted to play a Peach game. I know there's Super Princess Peach, but now I gotta put my money where my mouth is. They made a Peach game. You gotta play it, Calvin. That's it. Halloween's gonna come around in Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. I think we'll be around that time too. So I think we could play that for the month of Halloween. I think that'd be a really fun Halloween game to play. And One Shot. One Shot is another game that has been suggested here or there, but again, it was also suggested on the Patreon. And I added to the list just because, especially since it's the first month of the Patreon, because I was like, look, you know, people are paying me money. They suggest a game. I'm going to put it on the list. We're going to play One Shot. I don't know anything about this game, but I think it'd be really fun to actually like try it out and see what this game is like, especially since like I know nothing. And I know nothing about most games on this list because I don't like looking up trailers of games I'm actually going to play, because it's like, if I'm going to play them, I don't need to be sold on them, and that's just it. Those are the games that will be the Let's Plays. There might be changes here or there, like if new games come out or if other suggestions happen. You never know what will happen. But these are just the expected Let's Plays to happen. And the truth is, and I just, like I said, if we don't hit that goal, that like, and guys, it's about like living as well. Like I'm just saying, I know it's really awful to be like, hey guys, you have to get a goal. We will still play a lot of games and still play a lot of games on this list. It's just that some of them will be bumped to next year, and that's just how it kind of works, I suppose. The other list I have is games that I want to play or try out. I want to try out these games. These won't be games that will be like dedicated Let's Plays. These will be games that like maybe become Let's Plays, but at the time I just want to see if like I like them and you guys vibe with them at the same time. And they're games I probably was going to play anyway. The first one is Persona 3 Reload. Persona 3 Reload is I played the original Persona like 10 times. Persona 3, Persona 4, Persona 5, and Persona 2 I've played. Like each of them 10 times apart from 2. And I would definitely like to play Persona 3 Reload, and I'm going to play it anyway. I'm getting it on Game Pass, so I'm going to play it anyway. But I think it might be fun to like play it with you guys, maybe see all the changes, see all the differences. But the only thing is, again, like I said, the reason I'm putting this in the try section is because this is a game that I have played many times before, and it would just be me learning all the new things that are going to be happening, the new voice acting, the music. That's all it would be. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I played the Yakuza series. I played every single game in the mainline Yakuza series. I played Like a Dragon Ishin as well. I played the man who erased his name recently also. And I think I have to say that, like, I think it's time I share an experience with you guys of a game that I love. And like the Yakuza series means so much to me that, like, I always wish I could go back and play those games on the channel for the first time with all of you. And this time I'm going to try it out. I'm going to see if we can play, maybe do like a 3-hour video of like the first 3 hours of the game, see how we feel about it, see how I feel about it. And that's what everything on this list is kind of going to be. Slay the Princess. This was also suggested through Patreon just recently. I know nothing about it, so I can't talk about it, but it looked pretty cool, and it looked pretty awesome on when I typed it into this generator. It looked pretty cool. Inscription is another game that was suggested on the Patreon. Again, I don't know anything about it, so I can't talk about it, but we will hopefully get around to it as well. Dragon's Dogma 2, I played the first Dragon's Dogma. I love the first Dragon's Dogma. It's one of the most incredible games of all time, one of the most underrated games of all time, and it's just one of those cult classics. I think that if you guys actually played Dragon's Dogma 1, if you didn't, maybe some of you have, you know that it's just a really special game. The next game on this list you see is a Danganronpa game. It's fan games. I want to play more fan games, just like I have like Five Nights at Freddy fan games here as well. I want to play more Undertale fan games, more Danganronpa fan games, more Five Nights at Freddy's fan games. No, more fan games, more just games that are made by fans that people might be interested in, which you guys can always suggest to me as well, because I don't know what the fan games would be. Because I'm not very versed on that stuff. I don't go on Steam all the time or Game Jolt, so I don't really see those lists, even though I have a Game Jolt account. But yeah, I want to play more fan games this year. The Fire Emblem Black Eagles Ruth, we'll try and maybe go through it again. I'm worried that like a lot of people would be like, well, for the first 30 episodes, it's just going to be the same thing you did in Blue Lions, just with different characters, and I can totally understand that. But we'll see. Maybe we can make some fun thing out. Maybe we could do like a Fire Emblem daily or something like that, where we do like a daily thing where we just, I don't know, something interesting like that. We'll see. This is all a we'll see section. Genshin Impact. This is the scariest thing I've ever put on a list. I posted a picture of Genshin Impact on my community tab and said, hey, what do people think about this? And there was like literally 90% of people were like, this is like such a fun game, you should play this game. 10% of people were literally like, please, no. God, no. So I want people to be aware that if we do play Genshin Impact, it's a long game. It won't replace the Let's Play that's happening at the time. The 11 o'clock Let's Play will not be changed. We do like maybe Genshin at the 6 o'clock time. But enough people are saying that this game is really, really fun that I would like to try it. I understand that it has some weird practices to do with like gacha stuff. But again, I don't know anything really about it. I played a little bit of it back when it came out, and I remember I turned it off after like 2 minutes and was like, I don't think this is for me. But I'm willing to give it like a shot, because I feel like it's a completely different experience when you're sitting down to play it on a Let's Play, because you kind of like tunneled into kind of like noticing all the different things. And I don't know why I kind of quit at the time. Maybe other people might have an explanation if I've explained it to someone already. But I really didn't get a chance to play it. It also is like really high. Like I downloaded it, and like right now it's downloading, and it has cool art, and it's like a 5-hour download for me for 94 gigabytes. It's insane how big it is. Metal Gear Solid, I've never played these games before. That's it. I've never touched a Metal Gear game. I've played one Kojima game, and that's it. Detroit Become Human. I'm not usually like into playing David Cage games, but enough people have suggested this too that it kind of makes sense for me to touch it at some point. The Walking Dead: A New Frontier. I've never played The Walking Dead games past Season 2, but it might be fun to maybe play some of those games. Maybe do the same thing. We do like an episode every week with just a full episode, if that makes sense. While the other Let's Play is going on as well, if that makes a lot of sense. Let me know what you guys think of these lists. Let me know what you think of these games. Like, again, not everything is set in stone, but these are the games I would like to play. We'll see. I know like a lot of people are kind of questioning the idea of Genshin Impact, and that makes sense because it is a very divisive game. It's a game that a lot of people question online. I'm not stupid. I see people online talk about this game all the time. So it's just a matter of, I don't see them talking about the contents of the game, more just like the fans, and like talking about, like I always see people snapping back and forth on each other on Twitter. But like, I'm willing to give any game a chance. I really am. As long as it's not a game that like, is brutal or cruel in any way. But let me know what you guys think of that. Like, again, it's not like it's I'm gonna pay a cent for that game. Like, I'm not gonna be paying any cent. We're gonna be doing it hardcore, no gotcha elements. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Thank you to all my patrons who are making this possible at any time and all times, and thank you to the I Can Never Repay the Baby Gangsta tier of Ty, Fire02, Jamie Bull, Janet Banana, Smidge, Rachel S, and Normal Cara. Thank you.